Martin Luther and the German Reformation?
So in 1505, Martin Luther was stuck in a storm, and he was scared to death that he was going to get struck by lightning. And he promised that if he made it out of the storm, he would devote his life to Christ. And he did end up surviving, and this marked the beginning of his religious life. So in 1505, he started to study theology against his father's will, and he was sent to Wittenberg by his Holy Father to study and teach theology.
Martin Luther also visited Rome, and in Rome he found a lot of corruption, indulgences, and relics which he did not believe to be Christian things, and so he did not like that, and so he came up with his own thoughts. And when he came up with those thoughts, he came up with the 95 Theses, and he posted that on the doors of Wittenberg, and that's where Protestantism and Lutheranism came from.
And Lutheranism was the first sect of Protestantism, and it was, although Martin Luther did not intend to make a religion, his thought became a whole sect.
The German Reformation, beginning in the early 1520s, was a mixture of social and political unrest that began in the south of the empire. Lutheranism springs up and starts to spread throughout South Germany, and social and political unrest lead to the aid of religious reformation. The clergy that supported the religious reform were mostly the middle and lower classes, which brought complete reform to the lower classes because people were singing Luther's hymns and his religion was spreading throughout Germany. And there was councils that met and agreed to say the Mass in German. And after a while, the Peasants' Revolt in 1524 to 1525, and Thomas Müntzer arises as a theologist, and he preached against the church and preached some parts against Luther, and led an army in Thuringia, and the peasants and the lower classes now demanded that serfdom ended due to the help of Müntzer, and now Christendom is divided, and because Luther created a gap.